Hey guys, how you doing? I got a Burny. Come inside. Let's take a look at this thing. Alright, so yeah, I hope you guys are doing good, but here we go. I got a new guitar, and this is a Burny, and this is a Les Paul Gold Top. So Burny guitars, they've been around for a long time now. Supposed to have Gibson pickups in it. You know what, I just got this guitar, so let's take it in the back. We're going to clean it up. We're going to put new strings on it. And let's take a look and see what kind of pickups are in this thing. Man, I love the inside of that case, right? That thing looks nice in there. It looks like the knobs are wrong. Maybe I can change those out and find something better. But yeah, there it is, a Burny Les Paul Gold Top. Let's go restring this thing. And this one, unfortunately, is missing its Truss Rod cover. But I believe that says Super Grand Motto by Burny. And made by Fernandez. They started making them in Japan back in the 70s. And they use all kinds of different companies to produce their guitars. There's a lot of different videos about them, and they're great sounding guitars, and they're highly sought after. Unfortunately, now this one has a couple little scrapes, and it's been played. It's got some scratches. It's got some good little dings up here. And on the back, it's kind of scratched up. But I'm going to do my normal routine and try to clean it up the best that I can. And you know what? Let's take a good look at these frets. So yeah, you got a couple little grooves in some of these. Not real bad. I wouldn't call these big jumbo frets. I would call these about mediums. And overall, though, they look pretty good. There's a little bit right under here, underneath your high E string. But I'm going to clean those up, and maybe we can smooth those out a little bit. And then I'm going to take a look at those pickups. I'll drink my mouth of it. Now, some of the Burny Les Pauls have the nubs that come up the side of each fret right out of the binding. This one doesn't have that. But you know, here's what I wanted to do. I noticed there's little tiny dent right here in the fretboard, and you can see it, but I can't really feel. I almost can feel it. But you know what? I watched a Philip McKnight video on how to get a little dent like that out using your soldering iron. So I've got my soldering iron heating up right now, and we're going to see if we can get that little dent out right there. Okay, let's see what happens here. I really got it zoomed in. It's really a small little dent, but I just put water on the corner of this old ripped up t-shirt. And I kind of have it folded over one way, and I'm just going to lay that on there for a second. And then I got my soldering iron all heated up, so let's just do this. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's a little better. There you go. Thank you, Philip, for the advice. They made these Gibson clones as close to a Gibson as possible. And there were a lot of artists that preferred playing these Burnys. I have a list of them here in a little while. I'll look at that list. But what we're going to do is see if they used Gibson pickups in this one, or if they're still in here, or what exactly is in here. Take a look and see what happens. Hey, you know what? There you guys go. Look at that. Whenever you see the steel braid, Gibson uses that. And let me flip it around this way and zoom in on that a little bit. Gibson USA, there it is. The guy I bought the guitar from said, yeah, it's got Gibson pickups in it, but you just always got to kind of look and see for yourself. Well, he was right. Oh, this one's got the gray wire on that, but it says Gibson USA right there on the back. This is a nice guitar. And also the bridge looks like your standard Gibson Tune-o-matic. So yeah, very close. It says Epiphone on there though. That's too bad. Yeah, so looking back at this little repair we did right there, that looks a lot better. That worked out good. Okay, so, you know, I got the strings off, so I want to make the most out of this string change out. And so I have some of this fret polishing system from D'Addario, and these little sheets. And so what I've been doing is I've just been kind of cutting small little portions of them, and then you just sort of rub these frets down with it. Now it's got like one side of it that seems like it would be the back, and then this side seems a little bit more sort of like it would be doing its job. So I'm just going to wipe these babies down and see, yeah, see that? So I'm just going to rub these things for a while and see what happens. Alright, so I kind of want to look at this poker chip, because usually these things will say rhythm or treble, and this one doesn't say anything on them. So let me get a little, what can I use? Let's see if I can get this thing off of here. Pull that part off of there. There we go. Wondering if they just have this poker chip flipped upside down. No, that's what it looks like. That's kind of weird. Here's what I'm going to do. I've got this poker chip. I think I'll install this one. This one might have had the rhythm and stuff on there, and I just don't see it anymore. So let's see if we can put this one on there. There we go. Let me see if I can tighten this a little. I don't think this is the exact right tool to use, but it worked. We'll put this back on. There you go. My opinion, that looks a little bit better just because it says rhythm and treble on it. I like that. It's missing its truss rod cover. And now if this was a normal Gibson, you could tell by it's got the screwdriver on one end. You'd put that in there. Now this one's a little different than that. This one is just your regular hex key Allen wrench, and there we go. Oh, and I can feel that was really loose. There we go. It's kind of snug right now, so that's too bad that I don't have some kind of a truss rod cover that would fit over that, but I'll look around. That seems weird. There's a little piece of plastic or something stuck in there. And now looking up close at this nut right here, you can see at one time, it looks to me like it is plastic. And you can see where somebody took a pencil and you put pencil lead in there to kind of use the graphite to kind of lubricate the nut. Now this has a chip right there. So it still looks like there's plenty of room right here for your G string to fit in there. It kind of gets up against your B string a little bit right there. Wonder if I should knock that out and try to change that. It doesn't seem like it's bone to me. I'm thinking that's just plastic, and it would be nice if it matched the color of the binding. Let me see what I got. I might change that thing out. Okay, so I found this one, and it's a better color, and it seems like it's the right size. I'm going to go ahead and try to change that. So hopefully I'm not getting myself into big trouble by doing this, but you know what? It's kind of a slow day. Let's give it hell. Let's see what happens. Just that easy. You know what? That to me looks pretty darn good. So now I'm just going to try to clean this area up a little bit right here. And I'm going to put a little wood glue underneath that. Alright, let's string it up. I put that other nut on there and I just used wood glue to hold that on there. You don't want to use super glue because if you ever take it off, it's gonna be tough to get it off of there. Today's string choice is these PRS Classic 10 through 46. Paul Reed Smith, yeah, they make guitar strings. These strings have been proven over decades of use on PRS guitars. They're world class. Paul Reed Smith himself recommends that. Imagine that. Paul saying something is nice, right? But we're going to throw these on here, and hopefully now, I'm kind of rushing it because I didn't let that nut dry up very long. And hopefully by putting strings on this thing, it doesn't pop that nut loose again. Sometimes when you throw other nuts on there too, it's going to need filed down, so we're going to see what happens there. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about it myself. And because this is a Gibson-ish guitar, I am going to try to use what they would call the Gibson Wrap. To do the Gibson Wrap, now normally, okay, a standard wrap is you pull the string up like this, and you just wind these babies up like this, and you see that? That's a normal wrap. Here's what I'm going to do on a Gibson to prevent it from slipping. To prevent it from slipping, we're going to put the string underneath this one, and then when we tighten these, this string is forced underneath the other ones. You see that, how it kind of forces it underneath there? There you go, kind of like that. That's what they call a Gibson Wrap. I believe I did that correctly. My good friend Glenn, he'll be the first one to tell me if I mess that up. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap them around like that. So one thing that I just noticed about the PRS strings is they're not color coded, so you have to pay really close attention to make sure you put the right string on. And so this one, to me, looks like the A string. Alright guys, so check this out. I was putting the G string on, and I hardly was doing anything to it. I was just winding it around on here, and it broke. So, Paul Reed Smith strings. Do I highly recommend that? I mean, I think they're good strings, but do I highly recommend PRS strings? That thing just broke. Crazy, right? So, who knows? Maybe I do have something bad or negative to say about the Paul Reed Smith strings. So I got her all signed up and she's back in the case. It looks really good in the case. But yeah, these Burny guitars made by Fernandez. And Fernandez started making Les Paul copies in the early 70s. They also make Strat copies. This one, the serial number starts with 09, so that's what I'm going to guess. It's a 2009. And she's a pretty guitar. It does have some miles on it. It does have some chips and some dents and everything. But you know what? We did really good getting that little dent out of the fretboard right there. And the new nut seems to be put on nicely, and nice low string action. Some of the guys that played these things were, the guy from the Sex Pistols. He played one of these. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day has a Burny. Robert Fripp from King Crimson plays a Burny. Pretty good, man. Pretty good guitar. I guess all that's left for me to do is to play it a little bit. So it's time to log out of this video. I'm just kidding. Here we go. Let's play it. Alright, so I'm playing through a Friedman Runt 50 through a PRS 212 cabinet. And I've got it in the clean, and we're just hearing the microphone from the camera. Here is the bridge pickup. There's both pickups, everything turned all the way up. Loud. Here's all the way up in the neck position. Let's give a little gain on this thing, see what happens. Anyhow, guys, there you got it. It's my Burny. I didn't vote for him, but I'll play his guitars. There it is, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. And you guys have a great day. Make sure you stay home, stay safe. And you want to get yourself a ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirt. There'll be a link in the description below. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.